40%?
40%.
Jesus.
50% at 50. 60% at 60, 70 at 70, 80 at 80. You do the math. It essentially is a very prevalent condition. This condition is associated with increased cardiovascular events. It's the first sign of a heart attack. We talked about that. This condition is associated with 2.5 times more likely to be anxious, 3.5 times more likely to suffer from depression. And this condition is also associated with diabetes. In other words, men with ED, 2 times more likely to have undiagnosed diabetes. And yet, only 50% of men even talk about it because they're so embarrassed. So you show me another condition in the world that affects more men's lives, that's associated with more adverse conditions, and they're too embarrassed to speak about it. They suffer in silence. There's not another condition. There's not another condition, but yet we're embarrassed to discuss it. I used to give these lectures, and I would look out to the audience. I'd say, please raise your hand if you suffer from hypertension. And many people raise their hand. They have high blood pressure. I'd say, okay, please raise your hand if you suffer from sexual dysfunction. No hands go up. But statistically, you know that over 50% of those people had sexual dysfunction. So why is it okay to raise your hand if you have hypertension, but not okay to raise your hand if you have sexual dysfunction? It's got to stop. We have to destigmatize. It's okay to have sexual dysfunction. It's a common condition.